screen for?
Not yet. Maybe Yuka and Jacob. Would you
Yeah.
kick things
Yeah,
off?
we'll set everyone up and then get everything kicked off right now. So hello everyone and welcome to the January edition of the Global Chamber AI Globinar series and the first session of our third year. It's a big day. I'm Jacob Dietz, founder and CEO of Climo Collective and a connector at heart. Yuka and I launched this series in January of 2024. It's hard to think that this is year three. And we're thrilled to kick off year three with all of you. Me personally, I use AI to weave together a lot of things, people, ideas, and global ecosystems. And this topic is especially close and near and dear to my heart as a former educator. But it's great to see everyone, and we're grateful for your presence and participation.
Yeah, and I'm Yuka Nakasone, Executive Director of Global Chamber in Madrid, Barcelona, Valencia, and Malaga. I help companies expand across borders with uh, technology. So AI is very close to me. Jacob and I are thrilled to be your co-host today for a timely conversation about AI in education and how to ensure it truly serves the people at the center, it's teachers and students. And for those of you who are joining for the first time, a quick note about Global Chamber. We are purpose-driven business network active in over 600 cities worldwide. Our mission is to simplify global business and amplify impact by creating daily connections among CEOs, investors, and leaders.
Yeah, thank you, Yuka. And really, what makes this community powerful and impactful isn't just its global reach, it's the relationships. We come together to ask how technology can drive real progress. In past sessions, we've explored the human side of AI, which is really important in today's topic. And so today we're applying that spirit to education, how AI can enhance learning, elevate teachers, and improve outcomes without losing what makes teachers human. Teaching.
And around the world, AI is entering classrooms, schools, and districts, but not all applications are created equal. Too often, tools are designed for technology's sake, not for learners' sake. Educators and leaders are asking, how do we adapt AI responsibly? How do we personalize learning without sacrificing equity? And how do we support teachers rather than replace them?
Exactly. The question isn't whether to use AI, but how to use it to enhance human potential. And today we'll hear a practical human-centered approach that integrates cognitive science, ethical design, and real classroom workflows. So AI augments what educators do best.
Which brings us to today's guest. We are honored to welcome Ian Kang, AI education specialist and founder of Howler. Ian's work bridges AI, cognitive science, and instructional design to create adaptive learning pathways, AI-driven feedback, and scalable classroom workflows that support both teachers and students. His implementations span K-12 and international education context, emphasizing responsible adaptation that protects educators' autonomy while improving learning outcomes.
Exactly. And Ian and Iola focus on what truly matters, tools that fit real classrooms, respect diverse learners, and empower educators with actionable insights. Their approach includes AI assisted speech analysis, learner management, and personalized feedback systems designed to supplement, not replace, teacher expertise. There's also a thoughtful connection to what works in the Korean education system, not for short term score gains, but to help learners internalize how teachers and exam designers think for meaningful and rapid improvement. So, with that, let's welcome Ian to share how Hyola is helping schools and systems integrate AI responsibly and effectively. Ian, the floor is yours.
Right. I really appreciate you guys inviting me here. Yeah, I'm the founder of Howla, and I've been focusing on this education model for such a long time. And then I've been seeking expanding this education model globally, and hopefully I could deliver the strong messages about the selling point of Howla education model. Yeah. So, so am I supposed to share the presentation slides? Right?
Yes.
All right. So, so let me just briefly tell you guys the general concept of Howla. So Howla is not an Aztec tool, not just an Aztec tool. It's an AI and cognitive science-based teaching assistant infrastructure. So our mission is simple, to help teachers teach better without replacing them. So we are not just like the educating major, we don't take the educating roles, but rather we focus on assisting teachers and students without like directly educating students. So I think this is this slide could show you the brief identity of Howla. So we have two different models, B2B model and B2C model, but our main focus is this B2B model. So our primary model is designed for academies and schools and educators. It integrates, as I said, cognitive science and AI, particularly video-based speech analysis. This is our signature technology we fully utilize, especially in order to deliver highly efficient self-explanatory video assignment and feedback systems focused on core concepts and high difficulty problems for each subject or any kind of exams. So these systems enable students to internalize the perspectives of both instructors and exam setters, as well as to develop their cognitive abilities. So by substantially reducing teachers' administrative workload and instructional labor hours, this model can allow students to achieve maximum learning outcomes in the shortest possible time at the lowest possible cost. But when it comes to the B2C model, for those who are already have self-directed learning habits, they don't really need like a direct guidance from instructors. So in this case, we can provide them with the same advanced assignment and feedback framework while systematically transmitting cognitively optimized learning methodologies. So, so acting as a learning facilitator across all subjects and all examinations. So in this case, Howla supports students for only just $59 per month. Mhm. Yeah. So we just try to express how effective this model is through this slide. And yeah, I'm pretty sure, Korean education system is well known for its effectiveness, especially when it comes to increasing test scores. We are very confident about it. Done. So around the world, we have more educational tools, platforms, and information than ever before. Yet a fundamental question remains, why is education effectiveness still lagging behind? Despite digitalization, learning outcomes still depend heavily on individual teachers, and many systems struggle to scale quality education fairly and efficiently. So when we speak with teachers globally, we hear the same concerns. First, productivity limits. Too much time spent preparing materials and feedback. And second, personalization at scale, almost impossible in real classrooms. Third, learning inequality, where outcomes depend more on the teacher than the system. And finally, confusion about AI. Teachers know it may help, but don't know how to use it safely and effectively and properly. These are not technology issues, but they are more like system design problems. So many people might misunderstand what really Howla is. So let me clarify what Howla is and what it is not. Howla is not an AI tutor that replaces teachers. It is not an automated problem-solving platform like mechanically. Howla is an AI teaching assistant designed to support lesson design, materials, and feedback by keeping teachers fully in control. Mm. Uh, well, Howler operates behind the lesson, not in front of it. Teachers make decisions. Howler supports design and analysis. Students benefit from clear goals and faster feedback. In short, human teachers lead, Howler amplifies. Students benefit. It's as simple as that. So this workflow is intentionally simple. Teachers get goals and direction. Howla designs learning paths, assignments, and feedback using cognitive science. Students learn more efficiently with less trial and errors. So no disruption, no replacement, just structured support. For teachers, Howla provides something extremely valuable, time and clarity. Preparation becomes lighter. Feedback quality improves without extra effort. Student progress becomes feasible and manageable. Teachers focus on judgment and instruction, while Howla handles the invisible workload. So what kind of institution can achieve with Howla? For institutions, the value is structural. Teaching quality, sorry. So, sorry, I'm sorry about this. Hold on. Mm. Yes, so for institution, the value is very structural. Teaching quality becomes more consistent and student management scales without proportional stress. Decision making becomes data informed. So how it transforms individual excellence into an institutional learning system. Mm. So Howler is fundamentally different from most tech. We start with humans actually, what humans really learn and how they learn, not what technology can automate. So cognitive scientific learning methodologies first, and AI is actually second. Mm. Howler is also not a product, it's a learning teaching system. I'm sorry. Mm. So we are aiming at collaborating with a variety of educational institutions. So academies, the worldwide academies and test prep centers, and international and private schools or public education or education organizations. So, and even like individual tutors can enjoy a benefit from us. so so people might be confused with our role again. So many different types of education institutions can just adopt our model without big risk, and they don't have to change their curriculum and their system. So there's no system overhaul, and it doesn't really require any sort of heavy training. They can just adopt it for their like educational support. So we are ready to support teaching, and also we are also trying to start with a pilot. If there are some like education institutions who are deeply interested in this model. And lastly, I would like to say that the best way of learning is explaining things from the perspective of educators, from the perspective of exam setters. So using the video speech analysis technologies, we usually require students to explain a certain like a essential concept, or like the also we require them to explain some sort of like high difficulty problems on their own with their own like mouths, rather than just choosing like a multiple choice. So this kind of like a multiple choice problems are not really effective in terms of the learning outcomes. So we can utilize this AI speech analysis program for many different purposes and reasons. So I think that's how I can explain, where the, the biggest differentiated point lies. All right. But do you guys have any problems? I mean, questions? Yeah, I think pretty much I have delivered the important points of how,
Yeah, thank you very much, Ian. So this is for teachers and students. You talked about a little bit about business model
Mhm,
that you can implement in educational institutions without changing curriculum and without changing um, anything, right?
mhm,
Basically, which one are you market this AI? I mean, you market this tool to schools and
mhm,
teachers, um, or you market this for students.
mhm.
Um, would you explain a little bit? And
Yeah.
where are you implementing this? I I understand that you're from
Mhm,
Korea,
mhm,
and but in the explanation there's a K-12,
mhm,
meaning maybe you're in another country. So
mhm,
would you explain a little bit where you're
mhm,
based in and
mhm.
which countries are stronger and where are you going in the world?
All right. So I'm based in South Korea,
Mhm,
and of course, knowing that South Korean parents and students are so passionate about learning, and that's how South Korea has developed rapidly of the last several like I mean tens of years, and so there's a big need for private education here. So that's how our model emerged, and
mhm,
so the proof is very substantial, and then I have increased many students' academic performances rapidly in a short time frame. Uh, However, also like Korean students who are attending an international school all around the
mhm.
world, those also have been my students that I have
Okay.
taught.
Mhm,
So they have been benefiting from this model. But you know, this is my dilemma. I always wanted to focus on guiding the underprivileged students all around the world,
mhm,
but it's extremely hard for me to find them. And then they are not even interested in private education, and they don't know how to
mhm,
utilize AI. So because of this, the digital divide has been worse and worse. But we need to know that
Mhm.
as long as we know how to fully utilize AI, and as long as the students and teachers know how to use it,
Mhm.
the digital divide can be significantly lowered.
Mhm.
That's
Mhm.
where my passion lies,
Mhm.
and I would like to deliver this news to so many people and their, and then so that they can fully utilize this.
Mhm.
And also, so I always focus on the cognitive science part.
Mhm.
I think I could be the proof. So when I was young, my intelligence level was not that high. Uh,
Mhm.
I was just physically very energetic, and
Mhm.
I had never had a chance to study English or anything like that, especially when it comes to in terms of like speaking and writing.
Mhm.
And I've been explaining lots of concepts and then problems to many different students while I was earning money for by tutoring.
Mhm.
And even I have experienced a significant increase of my like intelligence. I even measured
Mhm.
it officially, and that's why I adopted this video speech analysis technology. I knew that the verbal or oral like test or explanation could be what we can really measure students' abilities, and then that's how we can make them engrave knowledge in their brain properly. And
Mhm.
so this technology can be actually utilized for any kinds of subject and exams,
Mhm.
even for mathematics.
Mhm.
So hopefully, I would like to have a partner in some developing country. And then
Okay. Mhm.
recently, I have signed an MOU with
Mhm.
a partner in Kenya. So I'm
Mhm.
really excited.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a little bit about background for those who maybe don't know about Asian educational kind of
Hmm.
intense focus,
Hmm.
especially by us, by
Hmm.
parents,
Hmm.
because in Asia like Korea or
Hmm.
Japan or maybe China, we focus on education of our
Hmm.
um, children, right?
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
we put lots of uh, let's say tutoring
Hmm.
outside of the public school education,
Hmm. Hmm.
right?
Right.
So what you're doing is
Hmm.
to provide this kind of tutoring education to not really privileged children, or
Hmm.
maybe children from struggling households,
Hmm.
so that there's no big difference between students.
Hmm.
Um, this is something that maybe it's a little bit difficult to understand
Hmm.
outside of Asia, because
Hmm.
in Europe or in the States,
Hmm.
yes, there are some kind of tutoring, or yes, there are some kind of extra
Hmm.
um, school curriculum, but not as big as Asian communities, right?
Hmm.
So for somebody to understand this, what you're doing,
Hmm.
we need to explain a little bit more, and
Hmm.
maybe I hope people could understand. And what he's
Hmm.
doing is really helping people, um, parents and children from not privileged homes
Hmm.
to catch up with those who have money
Hmm.
and can educate their children with tutors and
Hmm.
extra curriculum schools and uh, blah blah blah. That's what's happening, right?
Hmm. Right. Yeah.
And in
In
Kenya, is this the same, or is are you talking to implement this with schools?
Well, yeah, like I said, uh, even though Howler was created while guiding students uh, in the private sector, like as
Mm-hmm.
a private education model, but I know that this model can be even more efficiently utilized for any kinds of schools, like public
Mm-hmm.
schools or international schools. So
Mm-hmm.
I am scheduled to implement a pilot test, uh,
Mm-hmm.
probably with international schools in Kenya first,
Mm-hmm.
and then and if it goes well, I'm hoping that I could show prove this the effectiveness of this model for just general public students. And
Wow.
and so, like, as you asked, let me tell you just how different Asian, education system is.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we are actually extremely passionate, and there could be some sort of like regional issues and cultural issues as well. Like we are sort of like South Korea is isolated, like Korean Peninsula is isolated because North Korea is up there, and then we don't know, where to go. As we grow up, many others have lost their social opportunity because there are not many positions, and then like chances to do more. So, and they tend to focus on their children's education, uh, because of that, passion or some sort of like a desire. Um, and I would say, if I'm not mistaken, more than 80% of Korean students go to private academies, or they
Mm-hmm.
hire private tutors.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Otherwise, public systems cannot do much, and they have no strong trust in public teachers, like public school
Mm-hmm.
teachers, and it is well known. And and if I'm not mistaken, South Korean education is ranked number two in the world
Mm-hmm.
after Finland. So it might not be as efficient or as effective as like the model in Finland, like the IB curriculum, which is very similar to IB international school curriculum.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of like the test prep, I bet, South Korean education system is number one. That's
Mm-hmm.
exactly why there are so many Korean students even in the Ivy League
Mm-hmm.
universities in the US.
Mm-hmm.
And and so, but I think Howler's model is even more like efficient. It's extremely efficient,
Mm-hmm.
because of like thanks to the advanced AI technologies and the details. And as I said, AI feedback speech analysis tech, they can go much faster. But people
Mm-hmm.
might wonder, if they learn too fast, maybe they might not be able to develop their own cognitive abilities, and
Mm-hmm.
that's not actually the real education. But that's a big misunderstanding. They can catch the like proper perspectives of like teachers and exam setters, and while talking about what they know, and while talking about how to solve difficult problems, they can actually go faster, but with a compressed like learning outcomes and knowledge, and so it doesn't really kill their brain.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make them a brain rot. It's not a brain rot. They can actually learn properly and learn better, and then they can go much faster. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
Yeah.
yeah, Jacob,
Yeah, no,
please.
I was just going to chime in because you hit a couple points that were, really relevant to my time as a teacher. I taught middle school and public schools in Texas, and had worked with a lot of underprivileged students that came from marginalized communities. And, a lot of public school teachers, this was while this was not this current age of AI. So I taught from 2016 to 2021. And, one of the things my first year that was so tough was that you had a lot of students that, were in seventh grade, but were reading at a first or second grade level. And that really damages their ability to take tests. If most of these tests are, in essence, whether it's a science or history, all of these tests are reading tests. And testing in general, if we think about, the dollars and cents, especially for public schools, testing is what really marks how a school is viewed, and what type of funding public schools can get. Here in the state of Texas, specifically in the area that I'm at, you have the state that's starting to take over certain school systems that are underperforming. And so I think there's a lot of room for improvement because, for one thing, classroom sizes are so large. In a classroom like I taught, you could have very, incredible students that can learn a lot, but, are not either seen or they're not challenged. And so what I really see as a major tool that your technology can bring is to help with differentiation. But most importantly, I think is for students to be able to better understand um, sort of the language and mindset of teachers and exam takers, because I think that's something that's hard for them uh, to see is I know from my experience, if I was a student, like how I would approach a test, but really understanding how that test is designed at a cognitive level, I think, is important. And so I think that this technology is extremely important for public schools and schools that have a lot of students that come from marginalized communities. And so uh, really, really excited to learn about this. And so if you were to approach a public school, I think that that's something that here in the States where you could be able to create a great impact is at a systems level. There's and that data is present where you can see certain systems that and how they test and approach them and see, this is something that can um, increase your test scores, increase teacher confidence, and increase teachers' ability to be a facilitator. And speaking of that, would love to hear just some thoughts about like how this can better enhance the teacher's experience and move them from more of a manager to a facilitator.
Yeah, right. So in the AI era, the teachers' roles are more like a psychological experts who are empower students and motivate them. And um, uh, uh, and so in this era as well, like AI can make students learn really fast, and they don't really need help from teachers when it comes to like academic performance and like language acquisition, you know. So AI is that powerful, and as you know, so then you know why schools are needed, and so I think in the future, or even now, schools should play a role as sort of like a playground or discussion ground, or where students can socialize. Um, and like I said, as Jacob mentioned, in a public school system, there are too many students, but uh, they are being taught by teachers through the standardized curriculum, and it doesn't really consider the differences, different levels of students, of individual students. So what Howler can do is no matter what curriculum the school adopts, or no matter what kind of subject levels or exam levels all the students digest, we can individualize, we can customize what individual student needs, every student needs, you know, and every student should needs to have a different level of assignment, and they needs to have a different types of feedback according to their current level. And also, like I thought, you know, while I was developing this education model, I will always have thought about the teacher's perspective. Now, unlike professors in universities, teachers nowadays their like social recognition, their social status doesn't seem that high, and many students actually like sort of look down on them, and even their parents do not seem to respect their students, kids, teachers. So I would like to, play a role as an assistant for just general teachers and even for a private tutor. Like they are all experts. Even private tutors, they have so many different students actually. So they are like doctors when it comes to like teaching, and then when it comes to seeing children's like emotion and psychological like issues, as well as improving their academic performance. So in that sense, Howler could play a huge role in this era. I believe that. Yeah.
Awesome. And looks like we have some questions from the chat. Uh, are they logging into a website? And Demetrius, if you'd like to come off mic, you can ask your questions directly. Would love to
Oh,
ask.
okay. Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate the conversation around it. I have a 13-year-old, so I'm always looking at ways to increase her educational experience, because I really think that the educational system in the US, which is obviously the one that I'm most familiar with, I'm in Chicagoland, it's really old, it's really outdated. I mean, just something as simple as just everybody sitting in a row and watching the teacher, right? It's just outdated. And I sent her to a number of different schools, like just to try out, different methods. And one of the schools that she was at, the chairs were different, the arrangements were different, and the curriculum was really different. So I was wondering, with the AI that we're discussing today, is it like, and are you familiar with IXL? Because and if you're not, my understanding, I mean, I watch her like do it, but IXL is like a website that she logs into, but it's only for math. And depend, like, they break them up into like whatever sections they're on. You might have 20 questions, and then based on the ones that you get incorrect, then IXL somehow recognizes that, and then goes back either to a basic or whichever level that you're at, so that you can understand that concept, and then brings you back up, and then recognizes when you're at a level, because you're answering questions, when you're at a level that puts you back where you need to be. So is this software, or is it software? I'm not sure if I'm thinking about the concept of it correctly. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I can tell you about that. Yeah. So many people are actually misunderstand the Howler's model because like the recent AI powered education platforms also like provide automated, problem settings, like so that just individual students can log in and they just solve problems and they get feedback, individualized feedback. Yeah, that's not bad, but uh, still that doesn't seem humane. Like that doesn't feel like student would enjoy learning it that way for a long time. So what Howler is actually supporting students personally, like emotionally, using human connection. So what you need, do you feel burdened by the amount of workload? So we check their cognitive burden. And then, okay, and we always ask them, um, and we always encourage them to promise how much they can just suggest first. How much assignment do you think you could deal with? Then we usually respect their opinion, and then we design and create the efficient ways of assignment, and as well as the feedback that is customized at their level. And then we communicate with teachers and parents and students directly through sort of messenger like WhatsApp, which is fully utilized. There is a different types of messenger in Korea, and then so it's more about human connection, and so that no students feel isolated, left out. Actually, they feel like more supported by everyone, and AI is just a supporting tool, and so that we can facilitate their learning process and outcomes. So it's not like a mechanical, like AI automated problem solving uh, like platform. So we recruit students through different like, educational platform rather than we operate our own like a platform. But in the long run, I plan to establish a proper global education platform so that anybody could have access to it. And then we encourage them to learn through like a group study setting. So during the class, they need to just discuss. And students love to discuss. It's like playing games and video. I know about it. So that's what teachers need to do. Like make them fun, make them enjoy how to discuss and and about what they learn at home. And then they can also discuss before the class as well. Take like for example, like ChatGPT speaking function could play a role as like a sparring partner for students' discussion before the class. And then during the class, they can actually have a like enjoyable like a debate or discussion. Right? I think Demetrius, you have you have a question?
I
No,
think, yeah, sure.
I was clapping because I mean I just think that that's
Mhm.
you're just so on point because
Mhm.
just the way that they've been doing it is it's not gonna work in the future because
Yeah.
they're looking at like she's on Roblox all the time and
Mhm.
she's always learning, she's interacting with other people and there's the
Mhm.
conversation and the chat and on the phone, I guess. So it's like the stimuli is always
Mhm.
there. So just to be in a classroom, just listening to someone
Mhm.
or just doing the IXL where, like you said, there's no emotional connection because it's just
Mhm.
you against the clock or against the computer. That doesn't work either. They have to
Mhm.
combine all of it. So
Mhm.
thank you for your work in this
Mhm.
area. I really do think it's beneficial and
Mhm.
wish you well. And I will be, as I'm networking or whatever, I will be looking for, potential partners who could
Mhm.
collaborate with you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank
Yeah, I know I mean it's playing like the gamification. Many educational institutions I have been trying to adopt the gamification parts. However, I mean, they could isolate students. It's just like playing video games by themselves. That's not gonna work. In the AI era, also many as AI tech companies just focus on individual learning stuff, but it, they must just focus on like the group settings, like where a human connection is necessary, and the AI could be just just okay substantial tool, like supplementary method and tool. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, and one last point for me, and then you got toss it over to you, is that as a teacher, yeah, you're competing with so many different things that can grab a student's attention. And
Mhm.
I think that as I've been out of the game for a while now as a teacher, but I think there's still the same frustrations or these feelings of like, to your point, Demetrius, is like, I have to maintain what this system expects of a teacher and its students when there's like a cognitive dissonance of like, this as a teacher, I know this is not what is
Mhm.
best for my students. And so that creates this like point of frustration for teachers and which heart like hinders the ability to build relationships and enjoy learning. And what Ian and I were talking about prior to this is just like we are both lifelong learners and it's fun to learn. And I think that with a lot of the ways that education systems are set up, it's like they have really robbed a lot of students of their ability to be curious and enjoy the process and be a part of the process.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, really love how this can be a bridge towards the future of education.
Mhm. So I would like to add this point. Uh, I have felt it sort of bad to many students. Like many students are passionate about learning at first, but at some point they get frustrated because they cannot see the actual result, and it's actually mainly because of uh, the reason why they don't know how to learn fast, how to learn efficiently, because schools do not really teach them. They just teach students like a a certain like a subject, but there's no class for scientific learning ways. They must learn how to learn
Mhm.
fast, like almost in the scientific level. And that's what we are doing, like using the concept of cognitive science like working memory or unconscious learning, synapse plasticity, neuroplasticity, and chunking. There are a million types of scientific ideas of learning, and using these kind of learning methods, uh, I presume that even passing like the bar exam, for like a to be a lawyer, it wouldn't even take a year nowadays in the AI era because we like students just can just grasp like the general like the low concepts, and then they can just focus on the actual like problem bank problems, and then they can also check what they don't know while solving their problem. Then AI can like give them like a like clear answers, and then they can just collect all the pieces of information they have overlooked. And it wouldn't really take a long time to pass the bar exam as long as they are fully aware of these methods. I'm pretty sure about it. Yeah.
So thank you very, very much for share sharing your passion and sharing your product and sharing your um, let's say a little ambitious um, vision. And I really truly believe in what you're doing. And I was really touched
Mhm.
um, your caring about others and especially marginal community. And thank you very much for doing this.
Mhm.
So like Dimitras said, we hope you can find partners. And after this, we will try to connect you with other people with the
Mhm.
link to this recording.
Mhm.
And to access the recording, you can join the future session. So please, if somebody is interested in his product or his work, please sign up for this recording, and we take it from there. Jacob, what are your
Yeah.
thoughts?
Yeah, and I'm putting there's a link to Global Chambers YouTube channel
Mhm.
where these episodes are launched and posted. But yeah, I agree. I think that really with this technology, and I think that the approach and you know and how you described it helps students, teachers, parents, administrators, the whole ecosystem understand that AI is not something that should be overwhelming. It should be something that enhances the entire experience, entire education experience and environment. And so, yeah, thank you so much for presenting, Heola, and you can count us in as champions of your efforts.
Mhm. Is Doug around still? Or
I
maybe
I am.
he-
I am, but I'm having trouble with my technology on my side.
Okay,
So I'll just
okay.
say that fascinating conversation, really interesting technology, great application. And thank you, Yuka and Jacob, for bringing this. Thank you, Ian, for your leadership and your thoughtfulness and mindfulness on a really significant market opportunity. And you plug technology in and it seems to work. And so thank you for your leadership there, your innovation, and we look forward to helping and supporting.
Thank you so much.
Great,
Thank you,
great.
Yuka. Thank you, Jacob.
Yes, thank
Thank
you,
you.
everyone. And yeah, exactly. Yeah, and so Terry put a comment in the chat as well about, maybe if there's a potential for, as you expand to different markets, you know, having some translation in English or French or other global languages. But no, this was great, Ian, and really, as Doug hit it, it's like this is such a growing market, and as we're entering year three, really the third full year of this generative AI evolution movement, there's still so much room for growth and opportunity. So um, we hope that this space can allow for that, and not only allow for opportunity, but also learning and better understanding of this powerful and impactful technology. That's all from me, Yuka.
Yeah, with this, thank you very much. And talking about translation and localization, that's my specialty, so I can connect with people. And let's take it to the world.
You're
Okay,
speaking her
so
language when it comes to translation, right?
yeah, yeah. So thank you very much for to everybody who came, and thank you, Dimitros, with your contribution. Let's talk about AI from now on, the third year, right?
Yes. All right. We'll have a
Okay.
excellent evening, day, afternoon, and a great weekend moving ahead. Thank you all,
Yeah.
and we'll see you next month.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Good night.
Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.